Joining us in the studio this morning is a geospatial analyst, Mr. Ahmed Yusuf Muyideen, who is a regular on the program as well, a patriotic Nigerian who loves to lend his deep wealth of knowledge into matters of national discourse. Well, earlier we had seen a report concerning President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's meeting with security chiefs. We saw the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Waidi Shuaibu, alongside the Chief of Air Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and the DG of DSS, all visiting the President at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. Now, one of the resolutions made there was that there will be a withdrawal of about 100,000 policemen from VIPs all across the country in order to beef up the fight against insecurity in the nation. A very good morning to you, Mr. Yusuf.
Good morning.
Thank you for finding the time to join us on Morning Express.
Good morning and welcome, viewers. It's nice to be here. It will be a ride of sensible advocates.
Absolutely. Last week, Friday, I was with you here in the studio. We were talking about, security matters. It was quite disturbing, all the reports that we were getting. We had analyzed that in the last 4 or 5 days, a lot of things had happened. And just yesterday, we saw that meeting with service chiefs, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's meeting with service chiefs at the Presidential Villa. What is your assessment of this meeting? Would you say it's timely? Would you say the resolutions are apt? Yeah. And is the withdrawal of 100,000 policemen from VIPs an important move in this fight against insecurity?
Yeah, the president is a president that has his eyes on the ball.
Yeah.
And, over the year, this insecurity did not start today. And it has been there before the president, and in fact, he was part of the
political party that took over from the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. And one of the front runner in that election was still insecurity. 3 cardinal objectives of APC at that time to take power is to provide security for Nigeria. But be as it may, it gets worsened, and a lot of interest came in, and the insecurity is still up to date. When the United States of America president made mention of coming in gun blazing, I think the insurgents take it upon themselves to aggravate the situation, and they went to town, and we saw the spirit of school kidnapping and church attacks, so that we continue to give the whole incident a religion coloration. But be as it may, the president, who was scheduled to travel abroad for important AU and G20 meeting, have to stay back. And this is to demonstrate that the primary objective of any government is to provide security. And the president, putting that to mind, stay back as the commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, summoned all the security chiefs to the presidential villa and has to look at it from a situation room as to what is happening. I know that the suggestion that was made may be made by the Nigerian police and the likes of it, so that we need more boots on the ground to continue to tackle insecurity. And saying that the 100,000 policemen attached to VIPs need to be withdrawn, it's a welcome development, because there are ways the VIP can provide security for themselves through the vigilante or other private security network, so that the police can go about their normal function of policing the land space of Nigeria. It's a welcome development. But having said that, the number of police that we have as to ratio that is agreed globally on standard is still a shortfall. There is a need for more recruitment of more hands in a proper recruitment of those people who really want to serve.
Yeah.
Because if they open portal for policing or any military organization, National Assembly member, highly placed individual will still go and lobby for this slot and give it to their people who take it on a platter of gold. But there are Nigerians who are willing to put the boot on the ground, who are willing to go into this force. There are people, like now, there are local vigilante who have qualifications there, and they are doing local vigilante. You can look at those parameters, and some of them have gone after these bandits in the past. You can look at those people and bring them into the force, empower them, give them more sophistication of ammunition and technical expertise. I think this is a war that Nigeria can win if we put all our hands on deck.
Now, in the first instance, I believe Nigerians would wonder why, out of the entire police force that we have, why do we have 100,000 people, 100,000 police personnel being attached to VIPs who can easily just go to, any force,
Security, private security.
any police station and pay money
Yeah.
to have policemen guard them.
No, there's one thing about knowledge-driven operation in any environment. Like ICT now is knowledge-driven.
Yeah.
You want to create AI, you want to do Google mapping, you want to do anything on ICT, it's knowledge. The policing system in Nigeria provide a particular unit. They call them the SBU for private guard. That's when we have when we are in presently we are in a mild war situation because our country is being ravaged, and the police must come into this foray to perform their function as demanded by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So that's the necessity, the need for her to jettison the concept of private policing and VIP ceding police to VIP. But what I want to let us know is that as it may be now, we still need more boots on the ground. Like now, a local government of about 11,000 square kilometers, you can hardly have 1,000 police in that local government. Yeah. So that is this conundrum of the state policing and the community policing. Yeah. I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, over the year, he is an advocate of state policing. And I think it's high time he should galvanize the governors, the local government chairman, for us to expedite the concept of state policing and community policing. There's a need for it appropriately as soon as possible. I need water.
State policing.
Yeah.
We have always had this discussion surrounding state policing, and one of the cardinal points of the entire discourse is, will state governors be able to fund police that belongs to the state? If we're looking at it from the angle of maybe states that don't generate much revenue, do they have the amount of money? Will they be able to pay? Will they be able to sustain a police that is being managed, paid, and controlled by the state?
Even
that is another angle of it.
Even as it is at the federal level, the police is being underfunded. And we have three arms of government. The local government, three tiers of government: the local government, the state government, and the federal government. The Constitution is statistically giving everybody its roles to play. As I'm talking to you, state government are funding local vigilantes. The entire Southwest ambience have the Amatekun Corps, who are safeguarding the forest in that part of the country. Now, the state government provide vehicle, allowances, and all other logistics to make sure that this corps function optimally. In Lagos State, they have the neighborhood watch. Around the north, there are some Sheikh Kapasa group who go to town. We have the ISBA. These are a form of policing who can be integrated into a formidable policing network. And as to funding, the primary objective of government is security. So any government or governor, local government chairman, who cannot live to that expectation is not fit to be a governor. Because number one objective that make a state be called a state or a sovereign entity that can govern is to be able to provide security. So by definition, you must prioritize security. And when Bola Ahmed Tinubu came in, the issues of fuel subsidy removal, despite the outcry from the masses that this is the only thing we are benefiting from government, it has been allowed to stay. Now, where is this money going to if you cannot provide security? Governors are getting triple of what they are getting before. So if they cannot come to the party, and the federal government made it mandatory that the funding of local government should be given to local government so that they can be able to play their own part in the security of this nation. And as such, the issue of funding is out of the equation. Every state has what it takes to provide. They provide logistics for even the federal police, So all over the year. So if the state policing bill is being expedited as soon as possible, I think the Nigerian state will be better for it, and the local government can now manage the community aspect of the policing, which is intelligence gathering and surveillance, and then they will now support the state police so that they'll be able to act. But as it is today, after the state capital around Nigeria, even the state capital, some of them are ill-equipped. The policing number as the ratio of the people, Nigerian is under police. Even the number of military men, as it is now, the government has given a go-ahead for the army to recruit 100,000 from now to the end of 2026, 100,000 more men,
soldiers.
More soldiers. So we need more men on the ground so that this insurgency can be dealt with and become a thing of the past. And Nigeria have the wherewith to get that done.
Well, still staying with security matters, we hear that in Borno State, just recently, members of ISWAP had abducted about 13 female farmers in Borno State. This is in the wake of different operations that have happened in different parts of the country, starting off with KB, then to Kaduna, and of course Kwara State. Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, what do you have to say concerning this most recent abduction? Although in Borno State, when we hear of this, it has almost become normalized, where you hear that Boko Haram has attacked a military base, or Boko Haram has killed fishermen or farmers, or, as long as the story is coming out from Borno, Nigerians just take it as
it's a normal thing.
It's a normal thing. But is it really normal?
It's not. What I want you to know, for every insurgency and its operations, the people that are pushing it will always have the narrative to continue to push it as to what they believe in. They have their coordinates. The former president, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, stated that the level of sophistication and ammunition that is with the insurgency, it will take Nigeria a long time to be able to decimate it. And the former chief of army staff, in the person of Boratay, said they know and have intelligence as to the level of sophistication of this particular banditry group. So what I'm trying, and Erabo, when he wrote in his book, he mentioned something like that, there are so many vast all over the nation. So what I'm just trying to say is that the moment we allow our institutional government to function optimally, we'll be able to. Local governments must be allowed to function to 100%. And vis-a-vis, the funding of local government must go to local government.
Now I understand your call for the funding of local government and all of that, but it appears like you are now advocating for something that has already been granted by the Supreme Court, which is local government autonomy. It's not about whether or not these local governments should be granted now. They have been granted autonomy, financial and administrative autonomy. It is now on the part of the state governors to ensure that they do not breach the law by going against the judgment and the ruling of the Supreme Court that has granted this autonomy to local government areas. Because we have had reports of state governors, allowing for these funds to even come to the local government areas and then going around to recollect it back and then give a certain percentage to the local government chairman. This is a report that has been confirmed, although I don't want to mention names now, but this has been happening in Nigeria.
You see, I will mention names because there is particular governor that spent 8 years in power and did not conduct a local government election. Just have a stooge in the local government. Kwara State governor, in 6 years, of this present Kwara State governor, Abdurrahman Abrazak, spent 6 years without conducting local government. Hope Uzodinma, it was when this law was promulgated as to local government funding must go to local government that Hope Uzodinma wake up. The former Labour Party presidential candidate, in his 8 years, in his 8 years of being governor in Anambra State, only conducted election in the 7th years of it being in office. The local governments were allowed to be moribund. And those governors who come in subsequently, the only time local government had it well was 1999 to 2003. And after that particular time, local government has been shattered and battered. And if you just oppose the insecurity and the timing of insecurity and the issue of local governments being marginalized in functioning properly, you will find out that they came in at the same time. So the moment the local government, who's supposed to serve as the third tier of government and be able to complement whatever the state is doing, we are not allowed to function optimally. Whatever they are functioning, which one of them is security, has been lagging behind. And you see the kidnapping in Niger State, in Kwara State, the Eruku church attack, this one you just mentioned in Borno now, around local government. And this local government is supposed to be able to nib
Mr. Yusuf, every single state in Nigeria has local government areas.
Yes.
So whether it's happening in the state capital or it's happening in one other local government area that is not the state capital, it is still the local government area.
Yeah.
The seat where the governor sits is also a local government area.
Yeah.
If you go to a place like Adamawa State now, there's Yola North, there's Yola South.
Mobi and
exactly.
Yeah.
Yola North is where the governor's seat is.
Yeah.
So you cannot absolve the state governors of their responsibility of protecting the state as the chief security officer of the state and then relegate the responsibility or the duty to the local government chairman and then say, oh, because monies have not been coming to them from FAC, though that is why they have not been able to safeguard their local government areas. I understand that there is need for, each local government area to be protected, but then why do we want to absolve the state governors of their responsibility?
No, I'm not absolving the state government of their responsibility. They are culpable in the insecurity that we are having now. That's what I'm trying to say. Any governor at a time who deny local government of their funding or divert the local government funding for maybe private use or probably things that they are not meant for is as good as a terrorist, because it has a political terrorism, because local government are supposed to function optimally. What I'm saying is that lack of functionality in the local government area is what has increased the speed of this insecurity. That's what I'm trying to just oppose. So if local governments are allowed to function optimally, the school kidnapping in Niger State happened in local government.
Yes.
Intelligence in Kebbi State was made available. I think when the bandit approach, the number overwhelmed the security that are present, and sometimes you retreat. Sometimes you retreat, but when they are retreating in normal climb, they could have moved with the student from that. You understand? In normal climb, they could have moved away with the student from that particular location, but by stopping the bandits. But the security agent that are on site left alone and leaving the student to their fate, which is very, very bad in security networking.
Well, again, I will not agree that it was the failure of the local government chairman or the local government structure to have protected or stopped that abduction.
I'm not saying that.
I'm not going to agree to that.
No,
but
Mr.
we'll take a break and come back, Mr. Yusuf Muyideen. Gather your thoughts. After the break, we'll come back and revisit this issue. Well, I've been speaking to Yusuf Muyideen, a geospatial analyst. In a moment, we'll be back from this break and we'll hope to have another guest, Patriot Desmond Olarowajufobi, in addition to our guest here in the studio to still talk national security matters. Stay with us. Yes, joining us in the studio this morning is Patriot Desmond Olarowajufobi, the president of the Nigerian Nexus, alongside our guest, a geospatial analyst, Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, in the studio talking national security matters. A very good morning to you, Patriot. Thank you for finding the time to come around.
Good morning, Shijoke. Good morning, everyone. It's good to be here.
All right. I was just speaking with Mr. Muyideen before you walked into the studio, and we were talking about the most recent abductions in different parts of the country. We heard that ISWAP has abducted about 12 or 13, the reports are a bit conflicting, 12 or 13 female farmers in Borno State. And while speaking with him, he had asserted that the responsibility of, safeguarding the lives and property of individuals first starts at the grassroots, which is the local government level, an opinion that I have sort of disagreed with. But what is your own opinion concerning this? Should we really be holding local government chairmen responsible for the failure of what should ordinarily be the responsibility of state governors?
If you want to hold them responsible, you are right. And if you choose to hold any other tiers of government responsible, you're also right. because security is a shared responsibility among the tiers of government.
Yeah.
You call it the federal government, the state government, or the local government.
Yeah.
Just that in Nigeria, the security matter is on exclusive list of the federal government.
Yes.
That is not to say that even citizens, local governments do not have roles or responsibility to safeguarding the people in the community.
Yeah.
But primarily, firearms, if you look at the trends of our security challenges in this present time, it is not the era where people just conflict, two fighters and all that. That is not it. Not burglars. Not the case of burglar. We are dealing, or we are faced with banditry, with organized crime and sophisticated light weapons. And then local government chairmen may not have the capacity to import or make available these firearms or weapons that can be used for prosecuting these crimes. But at intelligence gathering, every citizen have the responsibility to share information and even provide useful information to the local government chairman, which will in turn transmitted to the state government as well as the federal government for onslaught actions. But by and large, it is the responsibility of not just the local government chairman, the state governors, but every members of the tiers of government to provide adequate security for the people of the country.
Now coming back to you, Mr. Muyideen, while we were speaking about state governors, you might want to note that the governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Zulum, had sometime last week stated that the dark days of, Boko Haram insurgency were over in Borno State, and that the situation is gradually becoming better and better. But in the same Borno State, we saw an ambush of a military convoy that led to the killing of several soldiers, the abduction of a brigadier general, and the public execution of the same on camera that was disseminated on social media. And then just this morning, we're getting reports of this abducted female farmers in the same Borno State. Should we now be believing comments of the governor or reports that we see and things that we hear happening in the state?
As a governor or a leader, you always preach the message of hope.
Okay.
And you always downplay tensions.
Yeah.
And for every achievement you are able to establish, you will be able to put it to the people that we are on top of the situation. That's the language of a leader. And if you look at the inception of this, there was a time 28 to 27 local governments are in the hand of Boko Haram. It's no longer like that today. Then some developments tried by the governor. Despite is a wartime, I will call him a wartime governor, because he's eight years in office. He has the Boko Haram insurgency to curtail with, alongside developmental strike. And as I will make it clear, he has done a yeoman's job in that regard. But one thing that I'm trying to juxtapose is that denying local government their space, not the money alone, their own role, as my colleague has actually asserted, denying them their own role that they are supposed to play. There's a role for local government in this whole debacle. And this debacle started when the local government are stifled of their responsibility in governance.
By who?
By the governors.
Okay.
So any governor that is still having that mindset, he is a contributor. That's what I just want to establish.
Do you think that the governors are doing so because they know that they enjoy immunity as self-government?
It's more of politics.
Because it's obvious that they are flouting and going against Supreme Court rulings.
In its first place, based on what our constitution allows, it's anti-democratic for you to stifle a particular tiers of government. In this local government, they have legislature, which are the local council. When they are there, they are allowed to function. And if you want to recruit leadership, these people that are function as local government councillors and chairman, these are the recruitment center for future leaders. The younger ones, and these are the things we need. When these people are on ground, a lot of idea. It is a normal norms that goes that too good head is better than one.
Yeah.
So when you have a lot of hands on deck, although there will be disagreement here and there, but removing them completely from the space that a governor will be in power for 8 good years will not conduct a local government election, that particular vacuum will have a side effect, and this is what we are reaping today in Nigeria. That's what I'm trying to establish. So having said that, the governors must complement the effort of the federal government by putting their eye on the ball. You cannot tell me that a secondary school does not have any security that can alert the nearest security checkpoint or the nearest security outlet to do a counter insurgency like the one we have in Niger State. And this thing happened in 2-3 days interval. As it happens somewhere, maybe in Kebbi State, Niger State governor should have swing into action and make sure that all the schools are provided with adequate security.
Yeah.
But allowing it to continue in the pace of 3-4 days, the issue in Eruku, the Kwara State governor relocated to the local government and mobilized people into the forest. And as it is now, those people have been freed. So these are the type of governance that we want. But he is the cause of the problem in the first place by stifling those local government for 6 good years without conducting local government election. That's my point. So, but now he was able to. He was not allowed to sleep in the lorry, and that serves him better.
Well, interesting take there from Mr. Yusuf Muyideen. We hear that in the same vein in Niger State, about 303 pupils and 12 staff of a school in Niger State were abducted. But this morning reports state that 50 of those abducted pupils or students have been able to escape from captivity. How did they do it? We certainly do not know, but we hope to find out in the course of this discussion. The whereabouts of 253 children and 12 staff is still unknown at the moment. Patriot, Desmond, let me come over to you. Should we say that this is just by a stroke of luck that these 50 pupils were able to escape? And should we really be believing this? Because it now appears like some, stage-managed theatrical drama.
Well, if you have followed the trends of our insecurity in the last 15 years,
Yeah.
you will agree with me 100% that though some of these kidnapping cases and security challenges we are having are state managed.
Yes.
Some of them are genuine, some of them are real expression of bandits, why some are for economic reason, why some of these things are politically motivated. And when we say organized crime, the word organized means there is an organization with hierarchies, with administration and executioners. The case of Nigerian insecurity cannot be solved by, mobilizing security and recruiting more security men to the theater,
How can
to
it
the
be
field.
solved?
It has to be something that you must go and understand the concept of the insecurity in the country. Some of this, for example, we talk about people who organize crime for the sake of making money. And quite a lot of this kidnapping you're seeing recently from different quarters across the north central, northwest, northeast are organized not by bandits. Some of them are for economic reasons. You have seen Sheikh Gumi talked about bandits not living very well, that they are not comfortable, they are not living in luxury, that some of them are suffering. You understand?
Is everybody entitled to luxury in Nigeria?
Now, that I'm just driving somewhere.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to drive at is that he believed that some of these bandits that we are prosecuting, they are Nigerians. Try to understand him. He felt that some of them are recruited into banditry because of starvation and frustration. And some of them, they are only reacting to bad governance.
By picking up sophisticated arms and
Gets
weapons.
is not. I'm not speaking for him.
Yes, of
I'm
course.
only trying to
I'm
establish.
also reiterating.
I'm only trying to
yeah.
establish that because of frustration, because of hunger, some people organize themselves, kidnap fellow community members, take them to a safe place within the community, and ask Gumi to go and negotiate with federal government to get some money to them so that they can live in luxury. So you can understand the position of Gumi. I'm not saying, I'm not in any way in support of this kind of argument. I'm only trying to establish the fact that some of these organized crimes
I know,
are for economic
I
reasons.
know the position of Sheikh Gumi, but I do not understand it.
Just understand. It's very simple to understand.
Okay, please
that
make me understand.
within the same community,
Yeah.
there are some people who get very envious of the luxurious life that people in government lived.
Now, what I also don't understand is why individuals like Sheikh Gumi should not be placed on the same pedestal with these bandits. If he's serving as a spokesperson, if he
has
can
been
easily
appointed.
go in there, he has been appointed. If he's appointed, it
During
means he's
President
a part of
Muhammadu Buhari
the-
regime.
Yeah.
All over the world.
Okay.
Insurgency group, harm groups have mediators.
Yeah.
And government will establish a mediating ground for people who share maybe similar ideology. Gumi is a Islamic cleric. And some of these bandits, so-called banditry, are thought to be Islamic terrorists. So because Gumi is a clergyman Islamic, maybe he will understand their language and what they are saying. So he may serve as a mediator. What Gumi is trying to establish, maybe his own language, look as if he's taking side with the bandit. But let me give you another. Let's shift away from the issue of banditry.
Okay.
In Nigeria, trillions of naira are budgeted for project year in, year out. And you can't see the tangible, you can't see the project being executed to have a direct impact in the life of masses. In some realm, people come out to protest such. And today, a lot of people are living in luxury at the expense of the masses. So if the masses take it upon themselves, let's leave the bandit out of it. I'm not trying to see on a larger scale.
Okay.
You will see somebody is just a bank executive, is a multi-billionaire. You can't keep your money in this bank and meet it the same. And somebody became a multi-billionaire. A central bank governor, a civil servant, built array of estate all over the place. Now, some people may look at it as these people are taking our commonwealth. And it's not everybody that reacts to issue the same way. Some people are hostile in reacting. Some people would say, okay, we will continue to push until we peacefully, until we want to neutralize the system using the Nelson Mandela and Gandhi approach. But some people are gastapoed in their approach.
Now, let me take you back
in the north where this
carry on.
The north where this fester. Let me give you an instance that will have nipped this thing in the bud. Is the establishment of pastoral education by IBB-led administration. This a group was set up by the Ministry of Education under Professor Babatunde Fakonwa to look into pastoral education. That as the pastoralists move, the education moves with them. Babangida did a yeoman's job in creating that particular. Northerners are saddled with responsibility of making sure that they transit from pastoralism into probably ranching. That's the aim of that education proposed under the Professor Babatunde Fakonwa as a Minister of Education. What happened to that project? Money were earmarked, and this money were catered away. So these people are not catered for, because as we move in history, as we move in time, our people are supposed to evolve, either locally or people in the city. We're supposed to evolve with time so that they will be able to know that, okay, pastoralism is studious, it is not best practice. Move to ranching. So if they are have they agreed? Has an institution like the
Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, has it openly agreed to the idea and the concept of ranching?
Mieti Allah Cattle Breeder only exists on paper.
Well, how do you mean?
I mean they are toothless bulldogs because they could not even bring up their words together. If you are an association and you cannot talk to your member to have decorum, today they are the tribe they represented are being demonized. So what is their use?
We'll come back to that in a moment, Patriot.
So
Desmond. Some of the assertions that Mr. Muyideen is making here is that the reason why some of these bandits are picking up arms is because people react differently to different things, right? And they feel like they are being sidelined. the goodies and the national cake is not being shared down to their table. But let's take a look at it down history lane. Was Boko Haram created because of this reason? That is one question I want you to answer. Because Boko Haram's ideology, I believe, is not in line with what Mr. Yusuf Muyideen is saying. And if you agree with me, or you would agree with me that the banditry, kidnapping, whatnot, name it, that we see today in the Northwest and the North Central, all stemmed out of the Boko Haram insurgency in the Northeast. If you would also take a look at maybe the Biafra agitation that we have been seeing, right? The killings in the Southeast and whatnot. It is behind a particular ideology of what? Secession. If you take a look at the Niger Delta militants that we had before amnesty was granted to them, they had a mission, they had demands that they were laying out to the government.
Resource control.
Exactly, resource control, and amnesty was granted. And from then till now, we have not had any issue of militancy in the Niger Delta. So if all of this, you know, other non-state actors who are picking up arms have a clearly defined target and aim, why are bandits not stating what their exact aim is, rather just kidnapping and then demanding for 100 million naira on each victim?
Now, Nigeria is a country, but is a nation state with different ethnic nationalities. And I've said it before in this program, as a pluralistic society, our problems are complexities. They are complex. And I also said, in the build-up to this conversation, before my brother bailed me out, I was trying to make sense. I want us to make sense of these whole points. You know, I am from a peace and conflict resolution background, and I speak like somebody who wants to provide solution to the problems. I was only giving you instances, and I can tell you categorically today, whether you call it secessionist, whether you call it resource control, whether you call it Islamic, the Boko Haram, jihadists and all that. I tell you, to solve this problem, 50% of this problem would have been successfully resolved if only we have good governance in place.
Interesting.
What we are lacking, that's what I was trying to say. I was trying to let you know that though these prosecutors of this banditry, kidnapping, they are different groups. Yes, they are different groups. There are those who are doing it for genuine cause of ideology. Some are doing it because of hunger. Some are doing it, some people within government are doing it to push a narrative and backed by their community members. And that was what I was trying to link Gumi to being appointed as their mediator. You must understand, I'm a Nigerian, you are in Nigeria, you must understand the trend of flows of events in the country. Now, because everything is just happening at the same time, you may not be able to track to understand the issues at stake. 50% of these banditry, kidnappings, and all things would have been resolved from what? Implementation of the principles of what? Good governance.
And what is stopping that?
What is stopping that is because of selfish interest.
And bad leadership.
Corruption. Bad leadership is influenced by corruption.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes, corruption is the major thing. You know, lack of value system, you know, our value system also in the society is fueling these things. Some people believe that it is, you can only be fulfilled in life when you become a multi-billionaire. There is an ideology in the society today that even hard work don't pay. Hard work, you know, before they say is the mother of success. But these days, hard work, cutting corners has now been accelerated.
I was speaking to someone and he said you can't out-hustle Nigeria, that you certainly have to dabble into other illegal forms of activity to be able to make money.
That is why
the typical ideology
to solve
of
the Nigerian problem,
Yeah.
we need what they call value reorientation. We need people to understand that our institutions must be strengthened. Electoral institution must be strengthened. Our judicial institution must be strengthened.
Yeah.
Governance itself must live to expectation. To solving Nigerian problem do not require rocket science. What we need is sincerity of purpose. Otherwise, we will just be rigmaroling. What President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is faced with right now if anybody is elected as president, we also face it. Nobody will be able to solve this problem until, as a nation, from the leadership, we have a U-turn, a change of mindset, a change of approach to things. The approaches that we are using in solving our problems, they are wrong. And that's why we are always getting wrong results. We need to create opportunity for young people. We need to create job opportunities for the sake of just creating job. Even if they are not adding more value for now, just create job, engage people. Even if their salary is not much, but provide basic amenities like mass housing and all that. You must be able to take as many as possible young people from the streets.
I do want to say is the devil.
All right,
I do want to say is the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to juxtapose something about the Muyideen Allah that you just said now.
Okay.
Any organization does not have a laid down rules to take care of its member. Today, you will see some insecurity being perpetuated by some other tribe in the toga of the Fulanis. And this Muyideen Allah continue to make sure that they will be negotiating a kind of system that the world know is archaic. The issue of pastoralism, there was a time the Ruga settlements was there.
Yeah.
That is outdated now. If you are living in the past, you have outlived your usefulness. So you must evolve to grow. So immediately Allah must come to universal best practice as to how its member will be included in the development stride. We have the livestock ministry on board. Immediately Allah should key into, and all other bodies, not only Muyideen Allah, even the Boko Haram of this world, they are trying to see that, okay, educated people get into office, they after being educated, they become looters. They work in bank, they loot. They become local government chairman, they loot. So this education has not helped us. And that's the concept behind Boko Haram. Now, you cannot bring them in. So how do we, have to have everybody into this particular fold in trying to move. Look at the ECN. It is just in the southeast. They must bring everybody on board, and idle hand is the devil's workshop.
All right, Mr. Yusuf Muyideen, quite very important points you have laid there. I have been speaking to Mr. Ahmed Yusuf Muyideen, a geospatial analyst, alongside Patriot Desmond Olarewaji-Fobi, the president of the Nigerian Nexus on matters of national security. We'll take a break. When we come back, we hope to shift gears on Morning Express. Do well to stay tuned. It promises to be engaging and punchy.